Hello Stampers, this is Jeannie Moss, the Bluegrass Stamper, here in the Bluegrass state of Kentucky. Welcome to my studio. This afternoon we'll be making this cute little monkey treat box that's filled with banana candies. So it's not going to take us very long, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So we'll be working with the Little Monkey bundle. It's the Little Monkey stamp set and the Little Monkey Builder punch. You'll need some supplies. This is a 1/4 sheet of soft seafoam cardstock. So this, you can get 4 of these out of a sheet of cardstock. So it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that's what we're going to start with. The first thing we're going to do is use the leaves from this stamp set to randomly stamp all over that piece of cardstock. So I'm using Garden Green, and I've actually mounted my stamps so that they are 2 on the block. I've used my foam pad, Stampin' Pierce. I've just laid this down, and I've just started stamping randomly all over this piece of cardstock. And so what I have is something that looks like this. Again, this is soft seafoam and Garden Green ink. The next thing I'm going to do is stamp my monkey. So I've got this little piece of pecan pie cardstock, and I've got my little monkey stamp. I'm going to stamp him in the Memento black ink, the Tuxedo Black. And there's our little monkey. I'm also going to stamp him one more time on a piece of crumb cake. This is a scrap of crumb cake, and all I need is his little face on this piece. So I'm only going to stamp, let me get a piece of scrap paper. I don't really want to stamp on my foam pad, so let me put this down. All I need here is just his little face. So I'm stamping his little face on this piece of crumb cake. The only other thing I need to stamp is a banana. And I've got the little, these are all stamps from this stamp. So this is the monkey. We've used him again for the face. We used the 2 leaves and then the banana. And I'm Bananas About You. So those are the ones we're using today. So the banana, I have just stamped it in the same Memento Black on a scrap of Lemon Lolly. So those are the pieces that we need. I'm going to use the punch to punch out the monkey. And we use these punches upside down so we can see what we're doing and line it up. And then if you press it part of the way down, it kind of locks it. And then you can turn it over so that your monkey doesn't pop out into the air and get lost. And then we also have the little monkey face that we need. So there's a little, at the bottom of the punch, there's a little, what looks kind of like a little flat heart. And that is the monkey's face. So now we have those. Let me get rid of these scraps. And our little banana, we'll go ahead and punch him out. All right, we are going to put a little bit of glue on the monkey's face on the complete monkey, and then we will just line this up and glue it down. So we're putting a little monkey face on. I've also added a little bit of color to his ears with the pecan pie marker. Now on the first one I did, I actually punched out the little crumb cake ears, and those punches are included on this punch, so you can punch that out, little scraps of crumb cake, and you can glue those on to make those ears. But I did 36 of these to take on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip to Norway, and that was a lot of punching, so I just used my pecan pie marker, my blends, and colored the ears, and that just made it a lot quicker for those 36. So there are our pieces. I've also taken a tag die. This is from the Something Fancy die set, and this is the smaller of the tags, and I've simply stamped I'm Bananas About You at the bottom of that. So now we have, I believe, all of our pieces. This is a piece of twine. I actually used black for my swaps because this is a garden green that was that is retired. But I used the black for my swaps. All right, so we're gonna move back to our box now. We've got all our pieces. We're going to score this, and we're going to score it on the short side. So we want the short side up. We're going to score it at 1, 2, 3, and 4 inches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 inches. And then we're going to turn that 1/4 turn, and we're going to use that 1 inch measurement again, and we're going to score 1 time. Now we'll use our scissors, our paper snips, and we're going to cut on this narrow, this is going to be our flap to secure this. We're going to cut a little wedge right here, and then we're going to cut out that little corner. So now, I don't know if you can see that, it's a little wedge cut, and then that's cut out. So this piece goes away. The rest of these, we are going to cut up to, hope I'm on the camera, I think, up to that score line on these other 3 score lines, and that will give us 4 flaps at the bottom. So we have 4 flaps, and now we can go ahead and fold these and use your bone folder so you can see those score lines. And then you can fold these up as well. So this is the basis of our box. Now, on one of these 2 center panels, it doesn't matter which one, I've taken a little die. This is from the Cracker and Treat Box set of dies, and it has several different dies that you can use as windows for the little Cracker Treat boxes. And on one of these 2 center panels, you're going to put this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine about a 1/4 or to 1/2 inch above the score line and centered on this flap. So we're going to cut this. We'll lay it flat to cut, but that's how we will cut the window out of this. So I've already done that. So I have this, and I also have this piece that came out, and I'm going to use that. So hang on to that little piece. Now we're ready to assemble our box. And what we will do is open this up. Let me go ahead and score this one because this is the one I did previously, and I did not fold it. All right, now where the window is, we are going to take glue dots, and I have some left over from an old paper pumpkin kit that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to pick those up, and I'm going to put those, one at the top of that window, right at the end of that window, and one at the other end of the window. And then I'll put a couple right along the side of the window. And we're working on the inside of the box. And then I'll pick all of those off, the little covers. And I've cut a little piece of window sheet, and this is 3/4 of an inch. Let me measure it. I think it's 3 inches. Yeah, 3 inches by 3/4 of an inch. And this is the window sheet, and that will go right over that window and secure with those glue dots. And that will put in our little window. Our next step will be to close this flap that has the small, our flap on it. This one, we're going to close that over, and we're going to put our adhesive. You could use tear and tape would be a good choice, or you can use the multi-purpose glue. Be careful not to get any of this on your window, just on that flap. And then fold this one over and secure that. Now we want a nice finished edge on the front of our box and not a bunch of flaps. So you can see here I've got a nice folded edge on the front. So to do that, we're going to push in the back piece first, the back flap, and then the 2 side ones, and then the one with the window, we will put adhesive. You could use glue or tear and tape, whatever you prefer. And we'll seal that down, and that will seal the box shut, and it will also give it a nice folded edge here on the front. And then we're ready to fill it with our little bananas. And I got these little bananas online. And you just want to fill up to about the top of the window, because we are going to be squishing this together. We're going to be pushing the sides in and flattening the front of the box. And then we're going to use a hole punch. Now I have this old retired punch that I'm going to use. And I'm going to just punch a hole, but you can use whatever hole punch that you have. And then we have our twine that will go through that. I'm going to go ahead and tie this in a knot. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you want to just tie that in a bow, you can, but I want to make sure this is really secure. So I'm going to tie that in a knot. And then I'm ready to work on my tag. So what I'm going to do with this little piece, I'm going to glue that right across the front of this tag, and that just, it's instead of throwing it away, that's just going to give it some nice little color on the tag. So I'm just gluing that right across the front of this tag, and then I'll take my paper snips and I'll trim off the excess. I don't like to throw things away if I can use them, and that just adds a little bit of color to our tag. Then we'll put dimensionals on the back of our monkey. And I'm going to be putting him up here on the side, so he's going to be hanging off. So I only want the dimensionals over on this one side. So I'm going to put one there and one there. And then I'll put him right here. I also need to punch a hole, almost forgot. I need to punch a hole in the tag as well. So let me do that before I get any farther along. And then the last thing is our little banana. And we'll just put a little piece of dimensional. There he is. Thought I'd lost my banana. And this is just a little piece I cut off the edge. And I'm going to put that little banana in his hand. And now this is ready to tie onto our box. And now I will tie that in a bow. And trim the ends off. And there it is. There's our cute little monkey banana box. I'm bananas about you. So, like I said, I made 36 of those to take on the incentive trip to Norway. I had 26 that I swapped, and then I had 10 that I gave away to my good friends. So I hope you've enjoyed this project. If you have any questions, you can email me at bluegrassstamper@gmail.com. If you'd like to see more projects, my website is www.bluegrassstamper.com. If you need any supplies, I'd love to help you out with that. I'd love for you to order from me. It lets me do what I like to do, which is make projects to share. Thank you so much. Bye.